Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 144 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode we play through the finals of the Club World Cup. There you can see the quarterfinal draw on screen. First game up, we are going to play Arsenal, so if you are looking forward to today's episode then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. If you missed yesterday's episode, which was the group stage of this tournament and how we got to this stage, I'll leave a link to that over in the top right corner. But our goal today is to try and win 3 games against very, very good opposition and try and get one of these little logos on our shirt for the next couple of years in game, which is something I'll try and do myself over the weekend if we can get the job done. But there you can see the results from the early quarterfinals on the other side of the draw. Manchester City, the Champions League winners, the team that beat us in the final, they have been knocked out by Real Madrid, and also Manchester United have got the job done over Bayern Munich. So that's going to be one of the semi-finals. We are waiting to see who does win the other tie here between PSG and Chelsea if we can get past Arsenal. But we are going to get straight into the action for this first game of today's episode. There on screen you can see the team sheets. Arsenal with quite a strong lineup. They've got Diaz, a goalkeeper who I've had my eye on for quite a while in this save. He is in goal, and apart from that, a very, very strong looking Arsenal team in and around that. We've gone back to our best 11 available to us at this time after putting our rotated team for the second game of yesterday's episode. Hopefully that can give us a little bit of an edge. So most of our first choice 11 in there. Karel Giroud still in there. For Lassana Doumbia, though, who is on under-21 international duty. He should be back, hopefully, though, for the semi-finals if we can make it that far. But we'll get straight into this game and hopefully make our way through to the semi-finals to at least guarantee that we get paid for this trip to the Club World Cup. And right on the 13-minute mark, we do have our first highlight of this one. We head that ball away as Arsenal were on the attack, and Nicolas Zimmerman starts to drive forward nicely here, makes his way onto the edge of the opposition box. We play that into the mix a bit. Kalen Rakasan tries to put that top left corner, just puts it high and wide. So the first highlight was in our favour, but now we are down the other end, albeit again Kalen Rakasan gets a foot in there and we do win possession back. So hopefully this is going to be a good start for us here in this game. Of course, the last time we played Arsenal was in the second knockout round of the Europa League a few seasons ago, where they did get the better of us, but off the back of that we have done quite well in the knockouts in the Champions League since then. So hopefully we can get some revenge today, especially after they were beaten in the final of the Europa League by Liverpool. And there's a good finish from Nicolas Zimmerman to put that just inside that far post. And hopefully this goal is going to stand. So we go 1-0 up here at the 15-minute mark. And indeed that is the case. We don't even have to wait around for all the VAR nonsense. Good work there down our right-hand side. That's a really pinpoint finish. 1-0 Volsungur after 15 minutes. And only a few minutes off the back of that opening goal, Arsenal again have a throw-in here inside our half. And yet again, Kalen Rakasan wins possession back for us here. So he started things off well, albeit the clearance there from Husavik does give Arsenal a chance here. Tomiyasu Martinelli left open, and there was a lot of space there to hit the target, but he puts it over the bar. Still 1-0 Volsungur after 20 minutes. And up to the half-hour mark now, the scoreline is still 1-0 in our favour. I thought we'd show you guys the opposition instructions just while we are on here, and more importantly, the condition of these Arsenal players. I think that was the real benefit in yesterday's episode of putting our rotated team for that second game of the group stage, because Arsenal are absolutely knackered. So hopefully we can take advantage of that and maybe extend this 1-0 lead, but thought that was worth pointing out in a short, sharp competition like this. Arsenal looking very tired while our players are in quite good nick, but still 1-0 with 15 minutes left of the first half in this quarterfinal. And that is half time here in this quarterfinal at the Club World Cup. We have just done enough there for Nicolas Zimmerman to take a 1-0 lead into half time. Nothing much happening off the back of that chance to Martinelli at the 20-minute mark. Fairly happy with how things are going. I think at the moment we won't make any changes just yet. 1-0 as we are about to kick off the second half of this quarterfinal. And going forward to the 65-minute mark now, no highlights yet in the second half. But we're going to make a few substitutions here. Players not on great ratings. It will be Hercules Delfino coming on for Adam Saki, and also Gaetano de Prisco can come on for Elias Anderson. One sub left here for the last 25 minutes. We'll just see if anything comes from this highlight here for Arsenal off the back of those substitutions. And indeed, nothing does. Still 1-0 heading in towards the last 20 minutes. And only a few minutes off the back of those first substitutions, we are going to make our last because Nicholas Zimmerman is down to a red card. I think our best bench option in this case for the wing is Jonata Chakatraore, can go outright with 18 minutes left. And up to the 77-minute mark here, we've just changed a few things tactically, trying to slow the pace down now that some of our players are getting tired late in this one, and with the scoreline still being 1-0, but Arsenal do have a highlight just as we are about to do that and are playing the ball just outside our box here inside the final third. Tomiyasu puts that into the mix. A good shot from Martinelli right into the path, though, of Husavik. We'll see if anything comes on the counter-attack here. Hercules Delfino plays that over for Chaka, but a good interception there from Kieran Tierney, albeit Chaka still on the ball. We'll see if anything comes here now that we are inside the final third of Arsenal. So a bit going on here in this highlight potentially. Kenny Boreal plays that back to Basaroge, back in there for Kalen Rakasan, over for Levan Tam inside the box. What can he do from just on the edge? But Martinelli will get possession back here from Arsenal. We are still 1-0 up, entering the last 10 minutes. And with only a few minutes left in this one, we do have a free kick, but Chakatraore puts way too much on that one, and Diaz is there in goal to tidy things up for Arsenal and to see if he can get them on the attack here to try and give them a chance to take this game to extra time. It's a nice ball over there, but Ali Ramadan will get possession back for us, although Husavik just pumps that straight into the path of Tomiyasu, and now it's Carlos with a good chance, but thankfully Husavik makes the save, and it looks like we are going to deal with the danger. Might get something going potentially here on the counter-attack as we just look to settle things down now in the midfield. We'll see if this highlight continues, and Hercules Delfino starts to try and get something going, although gives that to Popovic. That highlight will end. We are about to enter extra time, though, inside the last minute, and I think, especially with that injury there to Martinelli, that should be things. We've gone well over added time there, but in the end, we just do enough through that first half goal to Nicholas Zimmerman to pick up a 1-0 win over Arsenal. And at the very least, that's going to give us a payday here for this Club World Cup and see us through to the semi-finals. So now we're only 2 games away from potentially being champions of the world, even though we're not actually the champions of Europe. But we'll just get through this post-match and see if we can figure out who we are going to be playing out of PSG or Chelsea in that semi-final, which we're going to get straight into off the back of this game. And we aren't quite sure yet, so we'll come back shortly and you guys will find out who we are playing before we get into the action. And we are back with the team sheets for this semi-final, and as you can see on screen, it's a rematch from the semis of the Champions League this past season. We take on Pep Guardiola's Chelsea. No doubt they are looking for a bit of revenge here, but we have yet again rotated the team a little bit. Some players just a little bit tired going into this one, so we've taken the opportunity to rest those players. And also notably, Lassana Doumbia is back from helping France lift the Under-21 World Cup. He comes straight in to the box-to-box midfield role, but apart from that, DePrisco starts in place of Anderson at centre-back, Galtason and Arnason alongside Doumbia in the midfield, and we've also got Nygaard in there for Nicholas Zimmerman. So a few changes there in our starting 11 in terms of Chelsea. They look pretty similar to what we did take on in that semi-final in the Champions League, and hopefully we can repeat the dose here and make our way through to a Club World Cup final, which would be against Manchester United after they defeated Bayern in the other semi-final. And 18 minutes into this one, we do have the first highlight, albeit stats-wise so far in the semi. Chelsea well and truly on top of us, 4 shots to none and 3 on target as well. So at the moment, we are just clinging on, but hopefully this first highlight is actually going to be in our favour, as for now, we control position quite well, and hopefully the slightly rotated team can start to find their form here against a good Pep Guardiola Chelsea trained team. And Lassana Doumbia plays that forward to Saki, tries to put that top right corner, goes just over the bar, still 0-0 after 20 minutes. And just that one highlight in that first half, so it is still 0-0 here going into the sheds. Not much happened actually off the back of that highlight. We are going to make one change here though. At halftime, Chakatraore went down to a red heart late in that first half. Also, not on a great rating, so Jonata can come on for him for the second half, which has got underway, and we do have an early highlight here looking to play out from the back, off the back of a throw. We pump that deep, and Saki can't quite win possession for us here, not quite tall enough to make an impact, and Foden will play that back to the Chelsea defence as they try and get something going here after a good first half where they probably should have opened the scoring with the chances, which they did have, but Junior puts that one in for Phil Foden, buries that into the bottom left corner, and indeed Chelsea do take an early lead here in the second half of this Club World Cup semi-final. They were pretty much dominant in that first half, and right off the back of the break, our team talk kind of worked too well because after only 1 minute, Phil Foden makes it 1-0 Chelsea. And going forward to the 53-minute mark now, I think we're going to try and change things up here in terms of our attack. There's a few players out there really struggling on 6.3 ratings. So Patrick Nygaard and Saki will be coming off in this one. Delfino will go up front, and it will be Nicholas Zimmerman to go out on the right wing. Those are all our subs used as we are still 1-0 down with about 40 minutes left. And it's taken a while for our next highlight. 73 minutes gone. We have a free kick, and Gaetano de Plisco at the far post will put that in the back of the net. It is worth noting for the last 10 minutes we've actually been playing against 10 men because Chelsea also used all of their subs and then had an injury, so that is certainly in our favour late in this one, but that's not great there from the Chelsea goalkeeper. Gets caught out, simple header for de Plisco, and it's 1-1 with 15 minutes left. And only a few minutes off the back of that previous highlight, Chelsea look to play out from the back but pump it deep into the path of the goal scorer, and he plays that back to Husavik, but hopefully we just have enough energy here against a very, very tired Chelsea team, looking quite similar to what Arsenal did in that previous game. Hopefully our bench impact can make a difference here, and hopefully this one doesn't go to extra time. That would be quite nice because Man United had to go all the way to penalties. In the other game, in Hercules, Delfino off the bench will bury that off the assist from Jonata, so there is some of that bench impact as we were looking for, and in the space of only a few minutes, we go from being 1-0 down here to 2-1 in front. Pep Guardiola doesn't like us by the look of it. Good finish from Hercules Delfino, 2-1 Volsungur with 10 minutes left. And only around 5 minutes left in this one. We have started to try and time waste late in this one, and we have just got an interception there. Play that forward to Hercules Delfino, who will hit this on to himself. Great chance here. 2-on-1. Nicholas Zimmerman off the post. That would have surely sealed it. We are still on the attack, but Chelsea get the ball back. But we are inside the last 5 minutes here. Only a few off making a Club World Cup final, which would give us a chance to win our first major trophy of the save, even though it's not really one that you expect to win in a save like this. You are certainly targeting something like the Champions League, but if we can win the Club World Cup, we would certainly take it. But if we are going to do that, we are still going to have to beat Manchester United. A good comeback there. You can see late in this game, we really started to get our act in gear. That might have been off the back of those substitutions that we did make for our front three. Good impact from Delfino and Jonata for that second goal. Asana Doumbia coming back into the mix and performing well as well. Obviously, the extra man advantage for the last half hour also proved quite important there, and we come from behind to beat Pep Guardiola's Chelsea 2-1 and make the Club World Cup final against Manchester United. So we'll come back shortly and see if we can lift our first major continental trophy of this save, taking on Man U in the Club World Cup final. And here are the team sheets for this Club World Cup final against Manchester United. There you can see Man United on the left. Of interest in that team, Blagojevich Ognjenov is playing in the midfield for them. Of course, we sold him to Manchester United only last season, so that is of some interest, but a pretty good Man United team there. It does look like under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still, which is quite surprising in 2033, but in terms of us, it's more or less our best 11 that we did use throughout the Champions League this past season. Just one change though. At centre-back, Thiago Polo comes in to partner Ali Ramadan. The other two centre-backs a little bit injury prone. At the moment, we have good depth there, so I think that's a change which we can make going in to a big game like this. But this is probably the best team that we've had for the entirety of this Club World Cup competition, as well as a full bench as well, even though you can only use 3 of them when you do need to. So hopefully we can get the job done here against the team which finished second in the Premier League this past season and win our first major trophy in the Club World Cup. And 5 minutes into this final, we do have the first highlight, a throw-in here for Man United. Bruno Fernandes plays that back to Ognjanov, and they now start to get on the attack. Great chance there for Rashford, but comes off the post. Early warning sign there from Man United, but it's still 0-0 after 6 minutes. And we go forward now closer to the quarter of an hour mark. In terms of stats in this game, we're actually slightly dominating things, but that first highlight and only highlight was in favour of Man United. And this one looks like it might be the same, albeit good interception there from Thiago Polo. And again, from Basaroge as we try and hit them here on the counter-attack. Nicholas Zimmerman makes his way on the edge of the box, puts us into the box for Lassana Doumbia, has to play that all the way back to Basaroge, but it looks like this might be some good pressure from us here. Chaka Traore from a tight angle with a shot, but comes straight off of a Man United defender. We'll just see if anything does come from the subsequent corner, which Doumbia puts into the mixer. Gay just puts that over the bar, still 0-0 after 16 minutes. And we now go forward to the 21-minute mark, and yet again we continue to put the pressure here on Man United, and that has been the case since that opening highlight. They do clear that one from inside the box, but Ali Ramadan is there to tidy things up, and yet again Levan Tam is in possession, plays that back to Ramadan yet again, but an encouraging start from us here in this Club World Cup final. Nicholas Zimmerman will bury that in the bottom right corner, but was he offside? We'll need to wait here for a VAR check to see if we have opened the scoring. It would be quite deserved in terms of stats so far in this game, but unfortunately he was offside. We'll just wait here and see how far offside he was, but encouraging signs early. Just a step offside there is Zimmerman. So still 0-0 after 22 minutes. And we go forward now to the 24-minute mark. It's a free kick here for Man United. They try and pick out Ognjanov there, but we do get a header, and Nicholas Zimmerman starts to make his way into opposition territory. Good 1-2 there between him and Adam Saki, although we play that back a little bit scrappily. Marcus Rashford gets involved, but Levan Tam is able to tidy things up for us. Nice ball out there for Chaka Traore. Tries to chip that top right corner just too high. Still 0-0 coming up to the half-hour mark. And with 30 minutes gone, we do have our next highlight here. We were on the attack yet again, but Blagovic gets position back there for Man United, and they might look to get something going here for the first time since that opening highlight. They have been very quiet in this game since that first highlight was shown. Since then, it has pretty much been all Volsungur, but Theo Hernandez here starts to make his way forward down the left-hand side, plays that ball for Marcus Rashford, back for Blagovic, the former Volsungur player. Jude Bellingham over to Blagovic, and they play that back now to their defence, but for the first time in a while, Man United are in our half. Marcus Rashford off the post, puts that bottom right corner, but I think he was pretty clearly offside there. Hopefully that's the case, because that looked a little bit too easy there for Marcus Rashford, but the goal has been awarded, which is a little bit surprising. From first look there, he did look to be offside. Jude Bellingham will get the assist. He does look a straight offside there, but that mustn't be the case. First shot comes off the post. The second one falls straight into his path off of the post, puts it bottom right corner, and Man United, against the run of play here, are 1-0 up in the end. Perfectly timed run there from Marcus Rashford, and just like that, we're 1-0 down in the Club World Cup final. And that is half time here in this Club World Cup final. We find ourselves 1-0 down, which feels a little bit harsh, because for most of the middle parts of that first half, we were dominating things, but towards the latter half and early half, Man United started to get on top, made the most of it through that Marcus Rashford goal. So we're 1-0 down, no changes yet, and we'll see how we get on here in the second half of this final. And we go forward now to the 54-minute mark. We have a free kick, but far too much on that one from Nicholas Zimmerman, and Will's in goal here for Man United will claim this and start to slow the pace down here with that 1-0 lead. Boops it deep, but Ali Ramadan will tidy things up for us, and we look to get on the attack yet again in this one. I think at the very least, the way that the play's been going so far, we should be at 1-1, but Chaka Traore with a great chance to do just that puts it wide. Still 1-0 down 10 minutes into the second half. And only a few minutes off the back of that good chance there to start the second half off, we are going to make our first substitution. Lassana Doumbia down to a red heart. Karel Giroud to come on for him. And yet again, we go forward a few more minutes, and this time Chaka Traore down to a red heart. Jonata to come on for him after 62 minutes. And we're just about to hit the 70-minute mark now. We're going to make our last substitution. We're still not creating that much despite the stats that you can see on screen, especially shots on target being quite unimpressive. So because of that, it will be Hercules Delfino coming on for Saki for the last 20 minutes. So we are still 1-0 down, and off the back of that, it is a corner here to Man United. They put that into the mixer, but thankfully we clear it off the line, and we are still only 1 goal down inside these last 20 minutes. And just about to get inside the last 10 minutes of this one. Finally, we are back inside the opposition half here and do have a throw-in of our own. Kalen Rakasan just keeps possession there, plays that back to Jonata, takes a pretty big dive there, it is fair to say, but thankfully play does carry on because that was pretty unimpressive there from our Brazilian. Tried to earn us a penalty, didn't quite come off, but we do get possession back not too long off the back of losing it there, and Lee Van Tam puts a nice ball into the mixer for Hercules Delfino yet again. He comes off the bench in this Club World Cup and gets us a big goal. He is proving to be one of the players of this tournament for us so far with his bench impact, and with about 10 minutes left here of this final, we are right back in this at 1-1. It's a lovely ball from Lee Van Tam, just puts that in the right spot, 1-1. With, as I said, just over 10 minutes left. And we are now inside these last 10 minutes up to the 82-minute mark for our next highlight. And yet again, we are on the attack here inside the half of Man United. Although, as I say that, we pass that ball all the way back to Husavik. He will get this back, though, into the opposition half, albeit briefly we are put back inside our own. But now Kalen Rakasan, and we do play that up to Jonata. Nice ball here for Nicholas Zimmerman, will bury that into the bottom left corner. Just a little bit of a loose touch there, which I thought might undo that, but he, in the end, puts it away in the bottom left corner. And yet again, just like against Chelsea, some good bench impact. Jonata, yet again, comes off the bench and gets an assist. It's a really nice ball from him here. Zimmerman gets in behind. I thought that touch there might just be a little bit too heavy, but in the end, actually sets up the goal. And we are 2-1 up here, only 7 minutes away from winning the Club World Cup. And we are about to enter injury time here of this Club World Cup final. Yet again, our opposition down to 10 men as Theo Hernandez has been forced off the field, but Husavik taking his time here over this goal kick, although he gives that straight to Vincent, thankfully saves it. That was nearly a howler from Husavik to give Man United a chance to take this to extra time. We do now look to play out from the back. We try and get it up to Delfino. That's a very scary moment there, but thankfully it doesn't prove costly. We are inside the last few minutes of this one now, and we pick up our first major trophy. It's not one that you really aim to win in a Build a Nation save, not at least until you win the Champions League or something like that first, but that is a very good trophy to win at Volsungur. And finally, we are off the board in terms of continental competitions after losing all 3 of our previous European finals. We just come from behind and get the job done there against Manchester United. We run the English gauntlet in the finals of the Club World Cup to go on and win it. Hopefully, that's going to provide a nice little reputation boost for the club as well, alongside the fact that we did just make this previous Champions League final. But finally, we win our first big trophy here at Volsungur, albeit it's a tournament. I'm not too sure how seriously some of these English clubs and other clubs around the world do take, but that is a very good one to pick up. We come from behind thanks to late goals there from Delfino and Zimmerman, and we beat Man United in the final of the Club World Cup by 2-1. And we do make our way eventually back to the inbox. A little bit of a helter-skelter episode, that one, but thought we better make it that way due to it having potentially all 3 of those games, and we did run the English gauntlet there. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man United, and got past all of them, albeit by narrow margins. And in the last 2 games, thanks to some bench impact, to pick up the FIFA Club World Cup. That means we've already got a treble for the season here at Volsungur. Hopefully, we can make that 5 trophies this coming season with the domestic ones that are still left to play for. But we finally pick up our first major trophy here at Volsungur. As I said, off the back of that win, not really the one that you're aiming for in one of these saves. Ideally, you'd probably rather win the Champions League, especially in terms of prize money, because we only get 3.6 million for winning that. But any money's good money, and we get a big honour there going next to our name. For the first time, we win a continental trophy, and it is the FIFA Club World Cup. There you can see the Club World Cup review. Biggest overachievers, as you would expect. The biggest underachievers are Manchester City, and that's quite nice after they beat us in the Champions League final. But that will do it for today's episode. And if we go over to the club info page, I've done a little bit of early graphical work. We've got the Club World Cup winners badge there on our shirts. And with it only being played every 4 years now, we can leave that on our shirts for hopefully quite some time yet. And hopefully we can get our way into being able to retain that trophy in another 4 years. No reputation boost just yet, but I'd like to think that might be coming soon off the back of both this win and reaching the past Champions League final as well. But that will do it for these little Club World Cup episodes that we have done to end this week here of Husavik Heroes. If you did enjoy this one, picking up our first major trophy of this save, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. We will come back at the start of next week. Ideally, I'll get through enough off camera here to make sure that we can get straight into the action of a Champions Path playoff before we get back into the group stages of that competition. We might, though, have to come back a little bit earlier if it's going to take a while to do stuff like a squad run through and have a look at how the other Icelandic teams have been getting on in the earlier stages of European qualification as well. So we'll just see what happens in terms of how much I do get done over the weekend, because we have got a lot of games to catch up in between now or then. But ideally, we'll come back for that Champions Path playoff on Monday or not too long before that, so we know exactly who we do have going in to those Champions League games, so we can do our squad run through, and also potentially another transfer update should we be able to sell a few players and change a few parts of this team going into this upcoming Champions League campaign. You can see we're about to play the second round of the Malka Bicker, and most teams have already made their way through to the fourth round, so we're playing catch up in that competition, and we've still only played 4 games in the domestic league, and as you can see on screen, we have fallen a long way behind in terms of games played in that competition. So it's going to be a busy weekend off camera, and hopefully, as I said, we can make our way towards gaining some sort of parity in terms of games played here domestically off the back of that Club World Cup. It will come back sometime in August and just see where we can get to, hopefully up to that Champions Path playoff for the Champions League for this upcoming season. So until Monday for the next episode, thank you very much for watching. Have a good weekend, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.